Hi, I'm Juan from CureUV.com, and today I want to go over our SPDI manufactured UV curing bulbs. Now the reason I want to do this is because we often get compared and get price shopped, which I understand completely, and I do it too, but it seems that people believe a bulb is a bulb is a bulb, which is mostly true for the bulbs that, in your house and your lamps. Bulbs out, you go to Walmart, you get a 6-pack, it's some tungsten filament, mass produced, it's the exact same thickness. Absolutely, those are pretty much comparable, and you can just save money as I do, get the biggest bulk for the lowest price. But when it comes to UV curing bulb, there's a lot more involved. So what I wanted to go into is kind of the anatomy of a bulb and why ours are special. So here's a bunch of different ones, right? We got some microwave ones, we got some little tiny ones, we got a 2,000 watt per square inch. This pretty much doesn't exist outside of us. We got some massive ones. I don't know if you can see this, it might be out of range. So I'm 6'2" and I can barely reach this. I'm not going to take it out of here because if I break it, it's my butt. So I don't want to do it. Let me push it out of the way. Cool. So let's go over the anatomy of a bulb and see how ours are different. So hopefully you can zoom in, just give me a confirmation when you get there. So pretty much we start with the wiring, right? The wiring is mostly the same, I'm not going to lie to you. Some people go really thin. That's less than ideal, but as long as you have a good gauge, you're fine. There's no special. The connectors as well. Connectors can be ceramic or metal. Unless they're broken or misformed, you're fine. There's no difference. Just, no problem there. But that's kind of where the similarities stop, right? Between a cheap UV curing bulb and a SPDI curing bulb. So if you can zoom in on this little foil, it might be hard to see. It looks literally like a piece of aluminum foil. So that's molybdenum, and that's kind of a rare element. It's mined in the US, and it's completely pure. And that connects the cable, the cheap cable, to the electrode, or what you would call kind of the filament, right? And that connection, the more pure it is, the best it is for kind of electric impulses, right? Just like you don't buy the cheapest spark plugs for your car, at least if you're into cars. So this level of purity is something that increases cost, but most people don't spend money on because they're just trying to sell you a bulb, right? Then we get to this coating. So this coating is pretty much unseen anywhere else. And what it does is it's thermal management, and it helps the structural integrity of the bulb, right? So again, having the ideal temperature for a UV curing bulb is something you don't notice until you're 100 or 200 hours in. Most manufacturers don't invest in that. They just don't care. They just want to sell you something, right? Then, if you can move in, actually you can't see the kind of the electrode on this. It's kind of a small electrode. So I'm going to move one. Actually, if you can move to this one and let me know when you're there, because this has a massive electrode, right? Let me know when you can see the electrode. Okay. So that electrode, where you see the spring and then the little electrode, that's all titanium. Most people don't do that because, as you probably know, titanium is really expensive. Ours are entirely 100% titanium, and naturally that's a lot better than a little bit of a coated material, right? And then we move on to the actual quartz, right? So quartz is essentially the only type of glass that can transmit 100% of UV energy and UV light. If you just put regular glass or plastic or whatever, it's going to block it. It's just the way it is. Our quartz is 99.98% free of impurities. It's really hard to go above that. But what that means is there's nothing blocking it, right? There's whatever UV energy and UV light is created inside that bulb is getting to what you're trying to cure, which obviously is important, and that matters. And more importantly for our bulbs is the thickness. So quartz is pretty expensive, so people go really thin with it naturally because manufacturing it is easier, it's cheaper, and nobody notices. A bulb is a bulb is a bulb is what people think. This thickness means that after a couple hundred, let's see if you can see it, after a couple hundred hours, when it's really thin, it starts sagging, especially the long ones. I showed you that one that was 6 feet long, or whatever, 4 or 5 feet long, however long that one was. They start sagging, and that's kind of a significant thing. You're going to lose 100 or 50 hours like that. Plus, you're not going to be shooting UV optimally, right? So instead of kind of equal power throughout the range, it's going to be splattered. You might get some perfect curing in one area and kind of shoddy slow curing in other areas. it's kind of a mess, right? Now that's kind of the materials aspect of it. The rest is, well, engineering, and I would call it the recipe, right? So lasagna, if you just say, oh, lasagna, do I like lasagna? Maybe. I mean, if you go to a Michelin-rated restaurant, it's the best lasagna in the world. That's very different than the one that I could make from watching a YouTube video. It's nice to think that, you know, you could really do awesome, but having that exact recipe is absolutely crucial. And that makes the difference between a lamp that turns on for, you know, 300 hours and one that lasts for 500 hours at optimum performance, getting optimum life. Beyond that, kind of the final missing element is the craftsmanship, right? So I don't know if anyone's been to Venice. You probably have, and you go next. There's a little island, I guess Murano, and you go next by and you watch the glass blowers, and they are really amazing artisans. And it sounds silly because this is just like curing bowls, but our craftsmen really are artists. I mean, decades of experience. I couldn't learn to do this pretty much ever. And even though it sounds silly and they look like they're so perfect, they look like they're just machine made, they're not. All these are made by hand by people with decades of experience. That's kind of a substantial thing. So essentially what all these are, from the, you know, the little tiny ones to the 4-foot ones, from the low powered ones to the 2,000 watts per inch one, we make all these following a very strict set of guidelines and standards. And these standards mean, A, you never have downtime. As long as you prepare appropriately, you never have downtime because of us. B, your bulb lasts the absolute longest it can. And C, from the moment you turn it on that first time to the moment it goes out, you know, kind of sees its last light, it's performing at an optimal level. You never need to slow down your presses or your systems because of us. We make sure you have no downtime and you're running optimally at all times. If you have any questions, if you want to know kind of why our bulbs are one way or look a little bit different than what you would get, you know, on other sites or on eBay even, I've seen them, there's usually a very specific, kind of detailed, maybe boring answer, but we'd love to hear your questions. Hit us up, comment on this video, send us an email, call the number that I'm going to edit into the screen later. We'd love to hear from you. Hope you have a great day.